Hi guys, welcome back to the channel.
I pick through my pockets for gifts of the heart, velour and dimes for the well.
Subscribe if you're new. So for today's video, I want to talk about my gut issues and the FODMAPs. If you guys don't know what the FODMAPs are, don't worry about it. I'm gonna explain everything to you guys. Some of you guys already know that I'm currently getting trained and certified to be a health coach, but I am not a registered dietitian, nor am I a doctor, so I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm just here to share with you my own issues with gut health. Okay, I cannot stress this enough, but do not self-diagnose. Please go see a doctor if you have, really complicated gut issues or symptoms, because there may be some really serious GI related disorders or disease that needs more than just dietary changes. So always go see a doctor, rule out those serious diseases before you make any changes to your diet. With that being said, let's get into the video. Do you know that more than 40% of people worldwide experience some kind of functional GI disorder? GI meaning gastrointestinal. 40%, that's a big number. Think about it, like almost half of the people on planet Earth experience some kind of gut issues. So if you have some kind of gut problems, you're definitely not alone. There are many kinds of functional GI disorders, and the common ones including GERD, IBS, Irritable Bowel Syndrome, IBD, which is very different, inflammatory bowel disease, including Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, I think that's what SIBO is, and celiac disease. But today, not only today, for all my videos on gut issues, I will be focusing only on IBS, which is Irritable Bowel Syndrome, because that's what I have and that's what I have experience with. IBS is definitely the most common functional GI disorder. There's a whole range of symptoms when it comes to IBS. Abdominal pain, bloating, cramping, acid reflux, along with constipation or diarrhea for no apparent reason. It happens every now and then. The severity of IBS can vary a lot from person to person. I've talked to people with really severe IBS symptoms and it almost affects them every single day. But for me, I'm definitely on the milder side of IBS. Alright, I'm gonna give you guys some fast facts when it comes to IBS so that you understand how common it is and how much it can affect people's lives. 11% of population worldwide have IBS. IBS is often underdiagnosed. 10 to 15% of Americans have IBS. 18% of Canadians have IBS, which is crazy. I do not know why Canada has like the highest percentage when it comes to IBS. By the way, all of the statistics, references, resources that I use for this video today will be linked down below in the description box. Next one, more than 70% of people say that IBS affects their everyday life, and 46% of people miss work or school because of IBS symptoms. 40 to 60% of people who have IBS also have some kind of psychological problems, including anxiety, depression. So when you have gut issues, it affects not only your bodily health, but also your mental health. And me personally, I definitely agree with that. I'm gonna share to you guys a little bit about my own experience with IBS and how it affects my life. So my IBS symptoms tend to flare up before my period. I feel like my gut problem is highly linked with stress and hormonal changes. When I have a day that I have really bad symptoms, I literally cannot do anything. It's so uncomfortable that even, standing up is uncomfortable. I have to lie down, I have to put like this hot pad on my belly. It's very hard to explain to people what exactly you're feeling, and it's hard for people to understand if they don't have this kind of problem. This has driven me crazy for the longest time. My doctor prescribed me with a medicine that helps with abdominal pain and cramping when I have the symptoms. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I feel like a lot of people with IBS, we all relate to each other on some level. There is no cure for IBS. period. Like there is no cure. If you type in IBS treatment on Google and you see all these like anti-bloating medicines and all these different pills, take it with a grain of salt, okay? There is no proven cure for IBS. However, there is still hope because IBS symptoms can definitely get better if you make changes to your diet and lifestyle. Here comes the low FODMAP diet. The low FODMAP diet is by far the most effective and scientifically proven way to help people feel better. So this diet was invented about 10 to 15 years ago by a group of researchers in Monash University in Australia. And slowly people, and including doctors, are becoming more and more aware of the low FODMAP diet. And when I was diagnosed with IBS, my doctor told me to go on and try the low FODMAP diet. I went through the diet myself. I learned, read about the diet. I did everything I can. I don't want to make this video super long. So this video, we're going to focus on this one question only. What the heck are FODMAPs? And how do FODMAPs cause digestive problems and gut issues? So the FODMAPs are this group of sugars and fibers in everyday food. And the FODMAPs are very commonly malabsorbed in human intestines. If you have a sensitive gut, you may experience gut distress and symptoms due to these malabsorbed FODMAPs. The word FODMAP is an acronym that stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. Whew. The thing is, you do not need to remember all these big words, even if you want to go on the diet. These things you won't find on the food labels, and they are these like big categories of many subtypes of FODMAPs. Don't need to bother with the names, don't need to like figure out what exactly they are. I learned it myself because I'm just like that. Here I have a chart. It's from this book, The Low FODMAP Diet, by a registered dietitian and a recipe developer. They did a great job on explaining FODMAPs, and I learned a lot from this book. So this is a chart from this book that kind of breaks down each letter in the acronym. You see on the right side of the chart, the fructan, the fructose, sugar alcohols, all these names. These are the itty bitty things that may be causing you problems. Not all of them. But if you have a very sensitive gut and if you have IBS, it's very likely that some of these things on the right side of the chart are causing you the symptoms that you have. And how do you know which one of these are causing you problems? The low FODMAP diet is for that. How I see this diet is like a self-experiment for you to figure out what exactly are causing you problems. So even if it's not a cure, being able to know what kind of food is causing you to have these symptoms can be very, very empowering and relieving for people with IBS. I'm just gonna quickly talk about how the FODMAPs are linked with digestive problems. It can help you better understand how the FODMAP works in our gut and in our diet. So the FODMAPs can cause digestive symptoms because they are not easily digested and they tend to be malabsorbed in human intestines. So when they are malabsorbed, they get fermented by our gut bacteria, and this fermentation process produces gas. At the same time, the FODMAPs have this ability to pull water to your intestines. So this combination of gas and excess water is what's causing you to bloat, to have abdominal pain, to have all these symptoms. Some people have this urgency to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna give you an example so you can better understand. Garlics have fructan. Black beans have GOS. You can see here the fructans and GOS are part of the letter O. Our human bodies lack this enzyme to digest and absorb fructans and GOS properly. The malabsorbed garlic and black beans can produce gas in our gut. So let's say you have this bowl of chili. For some people, after eating this bowl of chili that have garlic and black beans, they can just have like a little bit of bloating. Bloating is normal for everybody. But for people with very sensitive gut, people with IBS, if you have the same bowl of chili that have garlic and black beans, you can have really bad abdominal pain. It doesn't cause problem to everybody. It causes problem to those who have a sensitive gut. It's just like when you have a sensitive skin type. It's very bio-individual. The same food can cause different people to react very differently. In my next video, I'm gonna really dive into the diet and talk to you guys how the diet works and my own experience with the diet. I have a lot to say on this topic, so you know, there may be multiple videos on this subject. If you have IBS, just know that you're not alone. There are support and resources you can find online. I'm gonna link a bunch of resources down below. And there are also Facebook groups for IBS. Also, the Monash University website is really helpful. They have a bunch of resources, recipes, different things, all linked down below. Check out this book. I'm not sponsored, but this book is very, very informative. Monash University also have their own Low-Fodmap Diet guide for people who want to learn more about the diet and the FODMAPs. You can actually order it on their website. Also, seeing a registered dietitian is very helpful because when it comes to IBS, you know, doctors won't explain to you how the diet works and what the FODMAPs are. All these things you need to self-learn. So having somebody like a registered dietitian to help you along the way can be really helpful. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it's helpful for you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for my next video. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, if you find it helpful. Take care of your gut, your mental health, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.